Good evening, everyone. My name is Jesselton, and I will be your host for tonight. On behalf of the JPO family, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to everyone tuning in for tonight's broadcast. We hope that everyone is doing well and staying safe indoors. A friendly reminder to maintain good hygiene at all times and maintain social distancing when heading out. As we like to continue improving your experience with us, please help us achieve this by completing the poll that will be published during the broadcast. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the Q&A section down below, or for those who are on YouTube, can type it in the live chat. To anyone who is interested in sharing tonight's broadcast, a live feed will be shared on the JPO Facebook page, and a recording of the webinar will also be uploaded on the page. And for those who are on YouTube now, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Tonight's seminar features Sir Jeffrey with his topic being Why Teach Music? As our JPL family attendees are mostly students ranging from primary school to college, their parents and their teachers, the sharing of knowledge and advice you have for all of us is invaluable and greatly appreciated. The JPO is very honored to have Sir Jeffrey join in as our guest for tonight. Now I will talk a little bit about Sir Jeffrey's background. Jeffrey Solares is the Executive Director and Associate Conductor of the Manila Symphony Orchestra, MSO, and is one of the most active figure in promoting classical music in the Philippines through his multiple roles as art advocate, violinist, conductor, educator, music arranger, and concert annotator. With his belief in the importance of the arts in developing a nation, he helped reorganize the MSO into an entity capable of sustaining its artistic mission with the support of various individuals and corporations. Since then, he has spearheaded MSO's annual gala concert series in major concert venues in Metro Manila, and in 2013, he initiated the MSO Rush Hour concerts at the Ayala Museum to develop a fresh audience for music in the city. In 2014, he helped establish the MSO Music Academy, now one of the leading training centers for aspiring young musicians with over 200 students in 3 studios around Metro Manila. He also founded the Manila Symphony Junior Orchestra, MSJO, a youth orchestra composed of some of the country's top young musicians, which won first prize at the 12th Summa Cum Laude International Music Festival to be held in Vienna and had concerts in various European cities. He is certified Suzuki violin teacher and is a frequent guest teacher of the Korea Suzuki Association, KSA. Now let us welcome Sir Jeffrey. Hello, Sir Jeffrey. Hello. I'm sorry, your mic is muted. Yes.
Okay, hello.
Hello, hi, Sir Jeffrey. How are you?
Hello, fine. Hello, Yapchin. Hello,
Hello.
Yaping. And hello to everyone here and to all those watching in YouTube. And thank you to the Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra for inviting me to this special broadcast. I don't know how to call this, Zoom
Yes, it's a broadcast
broadcast.
program. Yeah,
Yes, thank you very much for having me tonight.
welcome. So Sir Jeffrey, can you talk a little bit about the video that we watched at the beginning of the broadcast?
Okay, that video was taken in Vienna exactly 2 years ago. So it was in July 2018. That was our last European concert tour of the Manila Symphony Junior Orchestra. We joined this festival first time in 2017. It's called the Summa Cum Laude International Music Festival. It's participated in by various youth orchestras and choirs from all over the world. And we joined in 2017. We joined the competition for youth orchestras. It's very rare to see competition, so we were very excited. So we won second prize in 2017, and in 2018 we went back. And in 2018 we were lucky to win first prize. So that concert you saw is the concert of winners. That was the concert house in Vienna. So it's a very, very iconic place. The competition itself was in a very beautiful hall. It's called the Musikverein. That's where all these famous orchestras perform, and where you see every New Year the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra have their New Year's concert.
Wow, great! Wow, congratulations.
Yes. That was such a joyful experience. So every year we wanted to tour, the Manila Symphony Junior Orchestra. Last year, it was a different experience we did for them. Instead of going to Europe, we went to Korea. So we joined the music camp at the Korea Suzuki Association, where I've been visiting as a guest teacher for some years already. And we also performed the concert at Seoul. This year, we're supposed to be in Malaysia. We were scheduled to attend this Asia Pacific Youth Orchestra Festival, and we're supposed to play at the Petronas Tower. We planned this already 2 years back, and by January, we're supposed to finalize things, but then this COVID thing happened, and so nothing. So we have to wait another time to visit Malaysia.
Oh no, maybe next time. Next year.
Next time, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so how does the present pandemic affect your work with your orchestra? What have you been doing to cope?
Yes. Well, I handle basically all the activities of the Manila Symphony Orchestra Foundation. So the foundation has 3 projects. You have the professional orchestra, the Manila Symphony Orchestra, which is actually one of the oldest orchestras in Asia. We've celebrated our 94th year this year.
Congratulations!
It was founded in 1926, and this year we're supposed to celebrate the 94th year, but also there was a special concert that was done at the end of the Second World War, where the orchestra performed at the ruins of a church for all the survivors and soldiers of the war. It was 75 years after the war. We played Beethoven Eroica and Dvorak's New World Symphony. So that was supposed to be like the beginning, the crux of our program, Beethoven. because this year is the 250th year.
Yes, yes,
So that was
yes.
the plan. But then this pandemic happened. So by February, we've started losing performances. And in March, we had to
Ah.
stop altogether all the operations and activities of the orchestra, like everybody else in my country.
Mm.
So the symphony orchestra is currently, of course, we cannot do any concerts. We've been
Mm-hmm.
trying to do some online performances.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I did after the quarantine is to learn how to edit videos because I was so frustrated we cannot perform live. So I've learned how
Yeah.
to edit and connect, musicians.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a learning process. Every week I would have a project. I was first slow in doing it, and not so the editing was not so nice and things like that.
Oh.
But somehow I tried to learn to improve it. So the last project I did last weekend was 86 um, players from Korea and the Philippines joined together to
Oh.
perform. So it's in one of our videos of the Manila Symphony Junior Orchestra.
Mm.
So the MSO is currently well, we cannot perform, no? So we're suspended in our season. The junior orchestra continues to do some kind of training. We do
Mm-hmm.
some uh, online music lessons for our students, the junior
Mm-hmm.
orchestra, and we also upload videos. And the third part of the foundation is the academy. So
Yeah.
the MSO Music Academy. This is our teaching arm. This is where the members of Manila Symphony Orchestra and other teachers, this is our opportunity to teach the next generation. So now this is the only, this is the part that still functions somehow, because we were able to shift to online lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So we've started investing in things like this microphone here, this thing here, and
Yeah.
we have to be used to doing Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so somehow, and we try to share with everybody, with each one, how to
Yeah.
make a better experience in teaching through this way. So about three-fourths of our regular students are having online lessons at this time.
Mm. That's good. That's good. Okay. So how do you balance performing and teaching?
Yes, yeah, it's a bit difficult because I like both. Uh, so, well, performing as a violinist not so often now because as a teacher I've had so many students,
Mm-hmm.
so I let them play, and also there's so many musicians in the orchestra. I
Yeah.
only get to play when they need an extra violinist or an extra viola player when
Oh
nobody
yeah.
else is available in Manila. So then
Mm.
I get to play. But my performing experience is more of conducting.
Mm.
So I conduct both the Manila Symphony Orchestra and the Manila Symphony Junior Orchestra. Of
Mm.
course, conducting is also a kind of teaching, especially during rehearsals,
Oh
especially
yeah.
with the youth orchestra. So
Mm-hmm.
the youth orchestra, it's a lot of teaching, um, and you perform, of course, during rehearsals and when there are concerts. So, but this has been, especially when the junior orchestra won first prize 2 years ago.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of invitations to perform everywhere. So that
Mm.
year, that the youth orchestra was very very busy. We had, I think, over 60 plus performances within the year.
Wow.
Uh, yeah,
Fantastic.
for 2018, and then the following year it was a bit less, but still very busy. So sometimes we would miss teaching our lessons,
Mm-hmm.
our students, but many of our personally my own students, many of them are in the youth orchestra anyway, so they're also too busy to practice for their lessons. But during this lockdown and quarantine, we had more chance to teach. So actually, this during this past 3 months has been my most regular teaching experience, and my
Mm.
students' progress has been so fast because they have also nothing else to do but practice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay, just a gentle reminder to the audience. Don't forget to type your questions if you have any at the chat, at the live chat or the Q&A section below. Okay, so Jeffrey, is there a special training needed for performing musicians to become a music teacher?
Yes, of course, performing is different from teaching. They're two different things. They're two professions.
Mm-hmm,
Of
mm-hmm.
course, traditionally, many musicians and many people think that if you can play an instrument, then you can teach. You can teach that. Of course, you can teach in a certain way,
Yeah.
but you also need certain experience and certain types of a different kind of training, because here you are, of course, it is needed that you can play yourself so that you can demonstrate and you can play at a certain level, because it's difficult to teach something that you cannot play yourself.
Yeah.
So it's needed, but pedagogy is different. So I've been encouraging my colleagues that if they want to go teaching, they have to undergo some form of training. And so I myself train some of them. I organize some mini camps or some lectures so that I could pass on my teaching experience, because my teaching has been I've been teaching for, I think, I don't know, more than 30 years, I think. Um, since I was even in the university, I've been teaching. And then I've encountered this special method called Suzuki method. I'm sure you've
Mm-hmm,
heard of it over in Malaysia.
mm-hmm,
And in fact, this week, an hour ago, we just
mm-hmm.
finished a three-day workshop with a very prominent European Suzuki teacher. He was the founder
Ah.
of the Suzuki method in Europe, an original disciple of
Mm.
Shinichi Suzuki. So most of Suzuki students are Japanese and they cannot speak English. So
Yeah.
it's difficult to learn Suzuki method from them. So we're lucky to have this Frenchman who speaks English,
Mm.
and he's been visiting the Philippines for the past 3 years. And
Mm.
this time we had to do it online. So he's in France, and he is teaching over 40 Filipinos uh,
Oh.
for the past 3 days. So
Mm.
we've been going through every single piece of book one, book two, book three of the Suzuki method. So
Mm.
so this is very helpful, because most of these performers, these musicians, the only opportunity for them now to earn a living is by teaching,
Mm.
because there are no opportunities to perform, the usual way, like
Yeah.
concerts, or even in gigs or in hotels or things like this. There are no opportunities. So, but there are a lot of people in their homes who want to, somehow learn a musical instrument. So it's a
Mm.
good thing that there are opportunities like this for them to learn how to teach.
Mm. Okay. What are the qualities and qualifications needed to become an effective teacher?
Well, first you have to like doing it. Um, Not all players like to teach. Uh, so,
Yeah.
and if you are just forced because that's the only way you can earn a living, if you're forced,
Yeah.
it's difficult. It's very difficult, and
Yeah.
it can also be traumatic for the students, because the tradition that we've experienced before is very strict teachers, and if you don't have talent you cannot make it, and it's
Mm.
very discouraging. But with correct pedagogy, if you have knowledge of teaching step by step, then everybody can learn, even if they're slow at first. If even if they don't seem to have any form of native talent, but if you have the science of pedagogy or teaching, then you will be able to see that, no, how to approach everybody from step by step, so that they could progress. So you don't need to look for special talent and
Mm.
student, and that's good, because then you'll have more students. Because
Yeah.
if you just select talented ones, then you'll have very few. But if you're capable of teaching anybody, and all these people are get encouraged to continue, then it's good for your teaching practice. You'll have more students, and students will stay longer studying the instrument, and they won't just try it maybe bit for maybe 10 lessons and then they quit because they don't see
Yeah.
themselves progress. So it's
Mm.
good to really learn the science of teaching. um, so that's step by step, and there has to be a system. And then,
Mhm.
so that's one. You have to have the science. You have to have the passion, the interest. You have to have the genuine desire to help people, because
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
just helping. They're not just customers, no, that you just serve.
Yeah.
Um, you just really want to help them, especially when they're children. So a lot of
Hmm.
the students that we have are young children, and it's very important that you have an interest in developing human beings using music.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so on behalf of JPO, we would like to thank you for helping JPO in the past in giving workshops and tutorials. Thank you, Sir Jeffrey.
Yes, yes, that's very wonderful. I don't remember what year. Maybe it was 2015 or 2014. I was there the last time. You were still small then. I remember you.
Yeah.
Your brother who plays the cello, right? You have a
Hmm.
brother who plays the cello. Yeah, it was a very nice experience for me to visit Kota Kinabalu.
Hmm.
It's not too far from the Philippines.
Yeah, to our plus flight.
Sabah.
Yeah.
And many of us Filipinos think that Sabah is supposed to be part of the Philippines. I don't know if you like to be part of the Philippines.
Okay, yeah. So can you give JPO advice or your view on what they are doing, like normal orchestra activities, teaching outreach, music exam board, and this broadcast program?
Yeah, actually, I'm very impressed with when I discovered that you have this program to keep things interesting for your musicians and to continue serving as an orchestra. It's very important that the orchestras don't traditionally we just wait to perform in concert halls and that is the only thing orchestras do. But it's very good that we are able to take advantage of technology like this one, and also that the JPO has a lot of network internationally. You've been, I think, getting guests from all over the world. Well, me, I'm not too far away, so we're just in the same time zone. Um, but it's very inspiring. I invited some of my students, some of my colleagues to watch this because we might copy you. We might copy what you're doing in here in with the Manila Symphony Orchestra. Um, so it's very important because this is the time that we musicians should be able to make a difference. Because, for example, in the field of education, many parents are worried what's going to happen to my child.
Mm,
And many schools are actually scrambling to adjust to this new situation, how they're able
mm,
to deliver their mission to schools. But I think it's a good time to examine what is the real purpose of education, and then if we examine that, then we can see how art is an important component of education, art and music, uh, because
mm,
not just appreciating art, it's not just about understanding or knowing intellectually what is good art, or how to look at art, or how to listen to music, or what is good music. It's not just appreciating, but practicing or doing it yourself. For music, it's nice to listen and do that, not just be a passive listener and appreciate, but the experience of trying to practice and play an instrument yourself is different.
mm,
It's an art form, and you grow. You learn certain things like discipline, concentration, focus, good posture, breathing. So both physical and mental,
mm,
and this is good for children to achieve already, and it's not
mm.
so easy. So
Yes.
many kids, they find school so easy, so the schools multiply their tasks to make it difficult.
Ah.
So So, but for this one, inherently, the perfection required in art requires a lot in the person. So he grows, no, by
Mm-hmm.
pursuing the craft, no, trying to perfect his music, trying to improve his posture, trying to
Mm.
improve his sensitivity, his intonation. All of that effort uh, contributes to the growth of the child. So someone practicing art as from a young age, no, either music, dance, visual arts, any of these. Um, Even in certain Asian countries, they have other arts, no, like even martial arts, things like that. Um, they all are being practiced so that it contributes to the growth of the person. And for music, it's very easy. You don't have to fight anybody. Unlike martial
Mm-hmm.
arts, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to get, all my brothers and sisters after me
Mm-hmm.
had martial arts when they were young because during the summer, I would go to the orchestra, but they don't have an orchestra. So my parents involved me
Ah.
in martial arts. So, but me, I had a different art form. So, but
Mm.
I feel it's a very nice one. I don't have to fight anybody,
Mm.
and that is the the thing that we can somehow look at musicians, no, my fellow musicians there in Malaysia. Here in the Philippines, I'm encouraging the musicians to look into the educational function of their art form, and not just a specialist education, but basic. So it can be a part of basic education that, my dream is to have all the schools have their own orchestras or choirs, as part of their basic activity. And late last year, we started to partner with a city here. It's a very rich city called Makati City.
Oh
They have a
yes.
lot of money, so they were able to invest in musical instruments, and they wanted us to create an orchestra for their
Oh.
public schools. So we've started the program already. We were in the process of teaching, but then in March we had to stop. And I'm very worried
Mm.
about those kids. They might forget already everything we've taught. So we're trying to reach out to the school to somehow let the kids get the instruments from the school so that we can teach them online.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if we are successful with that public school program, and other public schools will adopt it in the
Mm-hmm.
country, and we can even persuade the Department of Education to make things like this a regular part of the Department of Education's programs, then the experience of the child will be more enhanced.
Mm. Agree. Agree. Okay. So now we shall move on to the Q&A now. Yeah. Okay.
Question.
So the first question by anonymous. Okay. So how do you stay motivated and where do you get all the energy to manage an orchestra, a youth orchestra, and a music school?
Motivated. Uh, well, first, it's a joy to see, I think beyond being a conductor or a manager, my personal orientation is a teacher. Everyone in my family, I think all my sisters are teachers, and it's a joy to see someone from this level reach this level, and
Mm,
then from this level reach this level. And people
yeah.
who don't think they have anything to offer or they don't have any talent, it's a joy to see them get surprised that they do have talent.
Mm,
um, and of course, it's also I like problem solving. It's like a game, how do you make this person become better? How do you make him play better? And then you engage. My brain gets engaged. No way. I like challenges.
mhm,
It's very boring. We don't have anything challenging, so that is a problem to solve. So I'm lucky and happy that I have all this training and advice from colleagues, and I can observe people, how do they do it. And so you see that progress. Now, how about the orchestra? The orchestra I handle is a private orchestra, the Manila Symphony Orchestra. We don't have any government, um, there's no government funding for us. So all the funds we have to earn it ourselves. We have to look for the funds. I have to look for the funds, to help the musicians and to create programs to generate interest and for people to sponsor or buy tickets. So it's also a big problem. Well, actually, until now, I'm wondering why I want to have this kind of problem, to always solve this problem. I asked you this morning, your father, no?
Yeah.
How is your orchestra? Do you have to? Oh, your orchestra, everybody is on a voluntary basis. They just play
Yeah.
because they like to play. And oh, that's so nice, you know. But here we've committed to also make the orchestra a source of livelihood for musicians. So we are into that. I am into that kind of responsibility to keep or make the orchestra. I have students who become members of the orchestra. They choose to do it. So somehow I feel responsible that they are able to to pursue their music and make a living out of it as well. So it's I feel somehow responsible since I was the one who taught them this art form, and then they are staying to do this art form. So now I'm encouraging that these students of mine who pursue music as their profession have a good life, no? Are able to earn by playing and by teaching. So unfortunately, it's very difficult to just focus on just playing, and I don't feel that there's that a lot opportunities for them here in the Philippines. I don't know in other countries, but here it's not, the opportunities are not that great. Maybe some will just be playing in hotels or in weddings. But
Yeah.
so,
Gigs.
but me, I felt that I did not teach them the Mendelssohn concerto or Mozart concerto, so that they will be playing in the hotels and the. So I want them to be playing in orchestras where they will
Yeah.
be playing symphonies and concertos and all these things and performing in nice concert halls, things like that. That is somehow my. But some of them would like to do that. That's fine. If this is also good profession and good job, no, and it's also music making. So, but somehow I want them to focus on this, on the art form and make a living out of it. Yes. Are there
Okay.
more questions?
Yes. Okay. So this one is another anonymous. So, sir, would you like to share with us the differences in teaching individual lessons and teaching group lessons?
Okay. Yes. Teaching individual lessons, teaching group lessons are of course very different. In group lessons, mostly you are there to input things, no? Input things. Uh, there's no chance to one by one correct everybody
Yeah.
mistakes in details. So you just put things there. And also in the group, of course, you have to understand group lesson is an addition to individual lesson. It's not a substitute. So in my program, in our program, they don't just attend only group lessons. They attend both group and individual lessons. So the group lesson serves to do a review of the things that they've studied in their individual lessons or preparation for their future, to reinforce whatever they learned before. And it's more challenging to have group lessons because first you have to know how to manage several people, several children at that. Some children are difficult to control, so you have to know how to control a class, and you have to keep it also exciting for everybody. Not everyone is in the same level. Some of them are fast, some of them are slow. How do you balance, that you're able to satisfy the fast ones and the slow ones at the same time? So That's actually the most difficult part of teaching a group. Unlike in individual lesson, you can just focus on this particular person.
Yeah. Mm. Okay, next question from another anonymous. So, is it still very effective teaching the more advanced level students in group setting?
Ah, effective.
Mm.
I think every teacher, every it will depend on the teacher who's the one teaching.
Oh yeah, true.
When these advanced students, when they go to youth orchestras, it's also teaching, and an orchestra is a group,
Mm-hmm.
and they learn in the
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know joining an orchestra for youth orchestras, for example, is an opportunity to learn. You
Mm.
learn many things there, dynamics, how to play together, how to adjust, how to balance, and things like that. You can learn in groups. And group teaching has been, I think, advocated, especially by this teacher Shinichi Suzuki. He would do that to supplement the individual lesson uh, as a way to save time. He wants to teach so many people, and you cannot do that because he wants music to be practiced by many people. He
Uh,
wants music to be a mass practice, like language. Everybody
oh, okay.
talks in the world, not only the rich people who can pay individual lesson for talking for language, but
Yeah.
for everybody. That's part of the human right, no? That we have the right to talk, and so part of the human right is to experience the beauty of music, and it has to be a right of everybody. And so it's difficult to achieve that goal if you're only capable of teaching one person at a time. So you have to learn the science of teaching many uh, at one time. So
Mm.
because a good teacher is very rare. Uh,
Yeah, yes.
Dedicated teachers are very rare.
Mm.
There's so few. So it would be unfortunate if they can only teach one person at a time. So,
Mm.
so you have to learn how to make your voice, make your teaching affect a lot of people at one time. And like this broadcast here, it's very sad if only one person is watching us, you know,
Yeah.
and it's only sad if only one person is learning. So
Mm.
the more we can teach, the more people we can influence for the good, the better.
Mm.
So that is the philosophy of group teaching. And group teaching is also has some other things, no? Like the person participating, the children there, they are able to see other kids. You don't just learn from the teacher; you learn from watching how the others learn, and
Mm-hmm.
you also learn from them. And then it also is a social experience. You know that you're not alone in learning. There are other people who are learning with you,
Mm.
um, and you are not just struggling by yourself. So you have peers. Of
Mm.
course, sometimes there's some form of competition, but you try to just see that this is not competitions. This is not really about competing, but competing more with yourself,
Mm.
and then just being inspired by those who are ahead of you,
Yeah.
and also trying to help those who are below you. So somehow it encourages positive feelings, uh,
Mm.
instead of being jealous of those who are
Yeah.
ahead of you, and instead of being looking down or being
Mm.
impatient with those who are slower than you.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So next question. From anonymous. Do you and the orchestra still have practices? If yes, is there any challenges that you have faced during the practice?
Hmm. Um, the Manila Symphony Orchestra right now, we've been having very few opportunities to do any practice. Of course, with the social distancing, we cannot do physical practice together. So what we've done in the past months is the video project that I've encouraged them to do. They practice with a click track that I sent.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they practice it. Even the some of the members, the old members of the Manila Symphony Orchestra, they don't know. They're not so good with technology. So I
Mm-hmm.
ask their children to help. You ask your child to help you do this video and listen to this track together and set this up. Um,
Yeah.
Now, so far that's for the Manila Symphony Orchestra, the professional. The youth orchestra, we've been regular. Almost every week we have a video project.
Mm.
Same approach, no? Because they really cannot get out of their house, so we've been regular in doing these projects, and recently we've collaborated with some of the students that we've taught in Mindanao. This is like the city in the southern part of the Philippines in Cagayan
Mm-hmm.
de Oro. So we've also involved them because there's also, in fact, we only could visit them 2 times a year, like two
Oh.
weekends a year. So it's like 4 days a year we could teach them. But now with Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
some of them are already having weekly lessons with us every week.
Oh.
So in fact, somehow this has opened up. You know what? We should have thought about this like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
There in Mindanao, but it's only because of this situation that we've discovered that we can do this.
Mm.
And it's possible. At first, I was doubtful whether it will be effective or it was possible, but I'm very surprised that we are able to, you know, teach. Now we are teaching students from Mindanao. They're learning advanced pieces. Last week I taught two kids Mendelssohn violin concerto from Mindanao. So
Mm.
I used to just visit them twice a year for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So last week I was teaching Mendelssohn concerto to them.
Mm.
So it's very, very, very nice opportunity. So the youth orchestra continues to practice on their own, by themselves in their homes. And the students of the MSO Music Academy, 2 times a month, we have a Zoom recital. So
Mm.
they're also they're also doing that. Ensemble experience will be difficult to execute now. Real ensemble playing face to face,
Yeah.
it's difficult. I wonder what will happen to us after this. Will we still need conductors? Maybe we will be extinct and we will be replaced by the click track.
Yeah.
So, so hopefully this will be resolved soon. Yes.
Mm. Okay. 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 So this question is from Moria Cadelina. So,
Yeah.
sir, how did you decide to take up music? What made you pursue it?
Oh, yeah, I know this girl, Mariah. She's one of those from Mindanao. Maybe they're contemplating now to take up music. That's why they're
Mm.
asking this question. And well, at a young age, I've been exposed. My father was a musician. He was playing in the military band, and then my
Ah.
grandparents were musicians too. So somehow this was already in our environment. Uh,
Mm.
I've been taught music, but I didn't think my parents really wanted me to be a professional musician because they wanted me to just use music so that we could have free education.
Ah.
This is a trend in the Philippines. If you know how to play a musical instrument, you can go to school, join the band, and your parents don't have to pay tuition fees because
Mm-hmm.
you're playing in the band or in their orchestra. But then I decided to pursue it as a career, as a college course, because I felt it's very special. Um, it's interesting in itself, but also it's unique, and somehow I felt that I can contribute more to this art form. With my other qualities and other talents. I just don't play music. I can write, I can speak. And this is, I think, needed also by my profession, musicians who can do things like this, or I can organize. No, so So it's important that you know where you can be most useful. Uh, um, everybody has certain set of gifts. Some of you will be very gifted in this form or this, and then or you can have a combination of talents, a combination of gifts, and then you put that your own interest. Are you really interested in what you're gifted in? Uh, because sometimes you're gifted in here, but your interest is somewhere else. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
you have to just find that. But if any one of you is contemplating to pursue music, I tell you it's worth it. It's good. It's not easy. Uh, it will be
Mm.
very difficult, but
Yeah.
it's worth it. There is a joy. Then you can serve a lot of people, especially if you also pursue not just playing but teaching.
Mm.
So that's what I'd like to encourage everybody.
Okay. Okay. Next question. What is your take on teaching online beginner students, like around 5 or 6 years old? This one was from Melissa Cypress.
Melissa, Cypress. She was one of my first student in Cebu many,
Oh,
many years ago. I'm glad you're
wow.
here. And she's now teaching, I think. And yeah, this is a problem teaching very young kids online for the first time. That's without having any particular, previous experience in having lessons is difficult. Although I know some people who have done it already. I myself hasn't started teaching anybody that young, uh,
Mm.
but but it is possible because I saw a recital last Sunday of two kids who exclusively learned through online teaching. Two 5-year-olds, no, they're both 5-year-olds,
Mm.
and it is possible. You have to know how to use the help of the parent. You teach the parent many things, and the parents have to be willing to learn things together with the child.
Yeah.
They just don't, I'll pay the teacher and you teacher take care of my child. It's
Oh,
your job.
yeah.
No, the parent has a job
Mm.
in the in teaching these very young kids, and they have to be confident that they're capable. So
Mm.
to increase the confidence of the parent by spending maybe instead of teaching the child like 30 minutes, you spend 15 minutes with the child and 15 minutes with the parent.
Mm.
So even the parent teach them how to play the instrument itself, as a
Oh.
student. Then the parent can teach the child, you know, because you only
Uh,
teach them once a week or twice a week. But the
mm-hmm.
parent,
Yeah.
they're together 24 hours a day. So the, it's a great resource to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
really teach the parents how to tune the violin, uh, how
Yeah.
to you know how to tune the violin, how to listen, what to listen for, and what's the
Mm-hmm.
good, where to put the finger, how to put the tapes, things like that.
Yeah.
You have to teach the
Basic.
parent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this question is from Jeremiah Valenzuela. So hello sir. Um, what can you say to music teachers who are starting to lose their interest in teaching?
Well, this time is difficult, really. It's not easy time for all of us, huh? But you just have to examine why you are teaching, huh? Why you are teaching, and what you are looking for in teaching. But you have to know that every we are in a special position as teachers to be able to help people. So if you continue to have that kind of ideal of I want to help people, I want to help children, then you can continue teaching.
Mm.
But if you are, of course, if you are starting to take an interest in other things, and that's also okay. That's not a problem if there are other things, because it's really good to pursue things that you like
Mm.
rather than stay in doing things that you don't like. Uh, so what is important is you pursue what you like, um, because teaching is not easy. Teaching is not easy, and it's more difficult if you don't like it also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one, anonymous from anonymous. So, what is the philosophy in life that you live by?
Philosophy in life. Wow. So this is very, very, very deep. Very, very deep. You know.
Yeah.
No. Well, my philosophy in life is you forget yourself, then you'll be happy. I think that's a very that's the thing. I mean, try to serve, help others. And then you have no time to dwell on your weakness. Then you have no time to dwell on how bad things are. Then you'll be happy. You know, the important thing is to be happy
Yeah.
for everyone. And I think the secret and the shortcut to be happy is to remove the focus on yourself,
Mm.
whether on your success or your failures. If you focus too much on your success, you'll also be unhappy because you'll see there are other people who are more successful than you.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Mm.
then that your success doesn't stay that long, because one day there will be something else can happen. So
Yeah.
forget yourself. Forget yourself because, well, I think God will take care of you.
Mm.
So, and just serve, and it's joyful. It's happy.
Mm.
You can serve by teaching, or in our case, or in as a musician. Serve your colleagues, or serve your audience, and in any other profession, whatever profession you choose, you do it to serve. Um, Serve the others. No, if you're a doctor, serve your patients. If you are whatever, if you're a chef, no, serve your
Yeah.
to eat your food. It's it's I think the shortcut. So if you're happy, then you can do a lot of things. And then if you're happy, you attract things. You attract other people of the same
Mm.
mind, mentality, and people will help you. I've been the greatest happiness I've had is to be able to bring my students, to tours, to
Mm.
travel and perform
Mm.
in these beautiful places. We visited the house of Mozart, we visited the house of Beethoven, and we played
Mm.
in the beautiful place, and we experienced something so special together. And it's so unimaginable how I could do that, because it takes a lot of money to do that. It's difficult, but somehow
Yeah.
it happened. It happened. We were able to find people to help us, and they still help us up to now, to be able
Yeah.
to continue doing that. So it's very, very, and all I have to do is just to focus on helping and teaching them. I don't have to, you know, um, I don't, I don't have to calculate so many things.
Mm-hmm.
So just focus there, and help will come. Help will.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Next one. From Shelly Isaga.
Mm.
How do you adapt to the online teaching since the student is not physically present? What were the biggest adjustment you made?
Online teaching. Um, it took me more than a month before I started teaching. After the quarantine, after
Mm.
the lockdown, I did not immediately teach. Like, unlike some of my colleagues, they started teaching right away. They were able to
Ah.
do it. It took me more than a month to somehow decide to try it out. Um, Now, our music is and the art of sound, and sound is able to travel through the internet, and you can hear it. And
Mm.
sometimes you can hear it even more because you have this, especially if
Yeah.
the internet is good. So it's
Mm.
important that there's a good internet. Um, Now, um, there are difficult things to do, no? Things to achieve in that you cannot do. You cannot hold your fingers, or
Yeah, yeah.
there are many things, no? But you have to be creative. You have to think of ways and means. For example, for something very specific, I designed a set of scales and exercises so that, and I shared it to the teachers of the MSO Music Academy. and to help our students play in tune. Mm. Because first the problem is tuning their violins. The little kids
Yeah.
who are beginners, they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow we were able to teach them that. But you don't only play with open strings, you play with your
Yeah.
fingers.
Yeah.
So the open strings are in tune, but the fingers are not in tune. So that's a problem. So I designed this set of exercises called the finger tuners.
Oh,
So
okay.
your fingers will be tuned. If you're about to play this piece, I give you a set exercises that will tune your fingers for that. So it's like tuning fingers.
Ah.
And this very simple scale. And then I gave a little seminar to the teachers how to use the finger tuners. And
Mm.
and so now I've been listening to the recital of the students of the ones that I taught, that the teachers that I shared this, and I saw that it helped get these kids play in tune.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that. So that's one specific thing that I can say that has helped. I also created some seminars to some group teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So for these groups, what I do is send them materials first to study. They don't sight read during the session there, and then we listen one by one. You create a system. All these challenges, all this difficulty is solved by an open mind. You know, by an open mind,
Yeah.
creative mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So every problem there is a solution, and you just have to create. And all the solution is there, here. Uh, we can solve it. So don't expect things that you can do in physical lesson to be
Mm-hmm.
possible in online lesson. But then there are many things that are not possible in physical lesson is possible in the online lesson.
Yeah.
Like studying from a teacher in France, okay,
Yeah.
without paying for his airfare,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and 40 people, like today, our experience today, 40 people studying from him at the same time. So things like that, or teaching someone in Mindanao. So there are many positive things about this kind of teaching. There are also some difficult things. So you
Yeah.
just have to be you just have to be open, have an open mind, and be creative.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So sorry, guys. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. So before we end this program, on behalf of JPO, we would like to thank all of you for dedicating your time and energy into this interview, despite the pandemic that is happening right now. We would also like to thank everyone who has attended and supported this program. You guys have been great. I hope you guys got the answer you wanted. So for those who are still waiting for an answer in Zoom, please stay as Sir Jeffrey will answer your question through the Q&A below in writing. Okay, this broadcast will be on every Wednesday and Sunday night at the same time until further notice. Now I will end with prayer. Please pray in whatever faith you believe in for the COVID-19. Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for giving us the opportunity to come together, continue running this program at a moment like this. I want to pray for the nurse and the doctors from around the world who has been constantly treating patients with COVID-19. And I hope people who diagnosed with COVID-19 will get better soon. Lastly, I pray for our safety and health, and may in the future there be peace within. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, so thank you everyone for tuning in, and also thank you, Sir Jeffrey, for taking your time to share your story. Thank you. So see you all next time. So bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
So
Sir
during
Jeffrey.
the question and answer, we answer them
Yes, later.
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 Okay.
Yes. So good night, everyone.